Good evening, everybody. Got Dullah here. Tuck, D.Son.
Big Tuck. Let's get it.
So something we've been meaning to do for a little while now. First pilot episode of our show, Unfiltered. Said me and Tuck talking for a while. I felt like me and Tuck had some good chemistry when I popped on TTO a couple times. So we've been talking about this about a year and a half now. Wanted to give y'all something a little different though. From an insight perspective, 3 different perspectives, diverse perspectives. Something I feel like I'm super passionate about seeing the flag league grow. I'll let Tuck go on his piece, and we,
Yeah, we all passionate about it. Like that was the main thing for us doing it. We wanted to bring our passion together and try to, like Dullah said, to piggyback off him, give y'all a diverse aspect on what we see in the different field, and then the championship aspect from them as well, you know what I mean? Which is big, you know?
Yeah, I think it's not just different personalities, but like just different perspectives. Like they said, you have players, right? But then you also have people who like organize teams, coaches, things of that nature. So if you like all that, I guess you could say not just the intellect, but like all the X's and O's portion, and then real life logistics of what the game looks like. This is it for you.
Yeah, you're going to get that too.
Yeah.
You're going to get that done too.
All right, so we're going to hop in it. So something that's been a hot topic. Y'all going to see this backdated, but, we'll go through tier teams. So, obviously you have playoff teams, you have these things, but as we go through and we've had a little more conversation, we wanted to give a little more in-depth breakdown on what the tiers look like, what the criteria is. We didn't really go out and script some of this stuff out, so a lot of it's going to be kind of freelance. But what we got right now, we got 5 tiers of teams. Tier 1, Tier 2, Tier 3, Tier 4, Tier 5. We'll give y'all a little bit of the criteria, and we'll go through it. It'll be more so a talking piece. But Tier 1 teams, multiple champions, guys that are always in that championship conversation. Tier 2 teams are fringe title contenders, teams that maybe showed up in a championship game here and there. Tier 3 teams are playoff teams that possibly could be Tier 2. Tier 4 teams, fringe playoff teams that make the playoffs usually, but kind of inconsistent with their performances. And Tier 5 teams are not playoff teams, don't have playoff appearances, and just kind of maybe new teams. New teams just kind of working on what they work on.
And just figuring it out.
Yeah. So don't get discouraged either, y'all, the new teams, you know what I mean? Like when we say a lower tier team, it's just we don't know because you don't got nothing to show yet, you know what I mean?
So we'll start at the bottom. We'll start with the Tier 5 teams. So just off the top of your head, Tuck, what are some teams that kind of stick out for you? Just if you think about a Tier 5 team in your opinion, what would be somebody that is a Tier 5 team, but you're somebody you like what they're doing, or you see the potential that they got going on?
I say Tier Squad right now.
Okay.
I see the potential.
That was one of mine on here. Okay.
Yeah, I say Tier Squad. I like the potential that they got. They just ain't got over that hump to even win enough games. They've been in a lot of close games, and every season that they've been around, they've got better. You know what I mean? And I just think they had a tough matchup with somebody that they damn near won, right? Legacy, like last week. Yeah, we won. Yeah, so that was big. I see potential in them.
Who they play week 2? They get what week 2?
No, they won week 2.
I think they won and won.
They won 36-0.
Okay.
They played
pressure? No, it wasn't pressure.
Pressure play who?
They played another Tier 5 team.
Okay.
But
okay.
What
you think about Terror Squad?
Yeah, I was about to say I want to add on to Terror Squad. Outside of me knowing a few people on Terror Squad, helping raise some of them young pups. But what I like about Terror Squad is that they've been consistent with their roster. They had D at first, that's on Legacy now.
They did. She was on their team at first. Yep.
But other than that roster for the most part has stayed together. It stayed consistent, and you do see them getting better. And they got a real tight unit. I see y'all on y'all social media, they getting their social media presence together, whatever. So they building their brand too.
It was.
So it's
pressure, right? That's okay.
So I definitely think they just got to stay the course.
Even with Terror Squad, the one thing you see with teams that constantly compete over and over again is the core of your team never changes. And that's the one thing I love about Terror Squad is Jay gonna be there, Max gonna be there, Rashad that became a staple in their team. Can't think of Buddy name, got the tattoos. Buddy with the tattoos. Yeah, he decent though.
Yeah,
I like the way he
him.
plays. I can't think of his name.
Gritty, he passionate.
He is passionate, talk shit. They got some women. I don't know if the lady's still on their team. She got the short hair. She's on their team.
Yeah, she can play back. She can play ball.
Yes, fast, can catch. I can't think of her name. Tall. Haley, is that her name?
Yeah, they got Haley. Yeah.
Yeah, so she could play. But I look at Terror Squad, they just one of them teams where I think it comes down to like a situational awareness type thing. Because even as we talked about the tiers, I'm like, would they be a tier 14? But it's like they never made the playoffs before. And they always, I feel like Terror Squad always find a way to lose the game versus find a way to preserve the game. Because they've been up in some of them games too.
Because I think, if I'm not mistaken, if it wasn't last season or the season before, they came down to their final game and they jagged.
It might have been last season.
Yeah, I don't remember. Yeah,
it might have been last season.
But yeah, they always in the loop. I ain't gonna say they always in the loop, but they always. Terror Squad is a team that you can't
go out there and sleep on.
Sleep on. You know what I mean? Cause it's a chance. You know what I mean? Like
they'll get you some more.
They hungry as fuck.
And they don't quit.
And they don't. Yeah, they hungry as fuck. Yeah,
they don't quit. High speed.
Yeah, for me, the tier 5 team is high speed, man. I think they got some shit athletically.
I think they kind of weak right now.
Yeah, I mean, like they haven't beaten up. Here's the thing: when they they played better last season, especially towards the tail end of last season. They gave Flagrant a scare.
Mm-hmm.
I think
then they got their fucking head beat in.
Yeah, like they
that hard to go.
Like they gave Flagrant.
We won like 32-6.
Was that before or after?
The last game.
This last game of the season.
Yeah.
They might have checked out.
They got
a
girl on their team. I ain't seen her play. Raw as hell. Light skin chick with the red hair.
But I can't say this though, because I know, the core on high speed, and they solid. They just ain't putting that mental there yet. Like they don't got that person that's gonna say,
they got a connector.
Yeah, the connector, exactly. That's what they don't have. They gotta have you, and every team need that. You know what I mean?
And a big part of that is because they don't have the quarterback position filled out.
But I disagree with that.
I like
dude.
Yeah.
Theo?
No, the other one, dark skin cat.
Chris.
He can throw the ball.
Yeah. But he's not.
He's
injured though.
I've seen him on the sideline more like a coach role.
So right now for him is Bibby and Theo, and they sharing roles. Which I always tell people, like, it's tough to share this quarterback role unless you just got those Dedrick Clay type movement already.
At least the way they doing it.
I'm saying some people that's winners already.
Yeah.
Like you can't share that role on a team that's trying to establish themselves. You know what I mean? Like,
need some continuity.
Let them. Yeah, exactly. Let them gel. Let them get his role off and choose somebody. Mm-hmm. Choose somebody. And I honestly like Bibby at quarterback. He won some games for family.
He did.
He won a big game one time for family, and I like Bibby. He just I watched a snippet of their game because I was getting ready for my shit, but they was dropping the ball a lot. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like you gotta catch the ball, man. Help him out. Help the quarterback out. You know what I mean?
A big part of that because they played mob ties, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
They played mob ties.
It was bad.
But they made some plays though.
Mm-hmm.
They got a pick six. They got a pick six.
That's how they only scored.
Well, maybe not really pick six.
They didn't score.
It was conversion.
They didn't score.
They didn't score.
It was conversion. They didn't score.
Everybody hauled them down.
Walk them down. But I'm like, we scrimmaged them. They got some athletes on their team.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And like you brought up the thing with Bibby with the family. I think the quarterback thing kind of gets misconstrued. So it's like, oh, he played good with this team, so he'll be good with that team. I don't necessarily agree with that.
Yeah.
I don't think Bibby a bad quarterback either. But when you look at the family's personnel at the time, and you look at what high speed personnel was at the time, because even I'm looking at the women, like they had a fast woman, I don't know her name, fast. He threw a couple deep balls to her, like on the red play or whatever. Yeah, but the other women, like they just didn't have a lot of dynamic women.
Yeah.
Family has some dynamic women, and that makes the game a lot easier when you got some dynamic women and being able to use them and put them in different spots at the same time. Mm-hmm. But they got some athletes on their team, though. Yeah. It's just
they got to bring it together.
You got to find out what worked for you. I think we got a copycat league, And teams try to like, I'm gonna do what they do because it worked. You gotta do what worked for you.
Yeah.
And you gotta master what worked for you. But when you switching it up and this week we gonna do this week we gonna do that, we gonna switch out lineups, like that shit don't, for me, it don't work. It don't work.
No, it don't work for nobody, to be honest, bro.
Yeah.
Like, that's tough for a person to jail and get some consistency. Like, you got to be consistent. And that's what I think High Speed going through. The same way. It's tier 5, the lowest of the low?
The lowest,
yeah.
Lowest of the low.
Right.
Yeah.
That's the same thing I can speak on with another team I think is the lowest of the low. Is Sweeney Todd, the consistency.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, get that person, stay consistent. And that's why I tell a lot of other people. That's why I don't, if you notice, my team, we don't really recruit inside the league often. You know what I mean? Because I feel like, go jail with that team. You know what I mean? I want a motherfucker that's going to jail my team, stick around, and we're going to try to build this camaraderie and keep it together. And I think most teams don't see the good in that, and I think you have to.
I feel like it's only a few avenues in this league to get better, right? Which is no different than like the NBA, the NFL, and the MLB, right? They like that, like they always say that like, what's the quickest way to get better, right? You either free agency, right? The free agency or the draft, right? You don't have a draft, right? And nobody's knocking down the door to go to like any tier 5 teams, right? So now it's like, okay, what's the next spot? What's the next way, right? And I think the next way is a problem in this league for a lot of teams, for a majority of the teams, and that's development, right? Like, so how do you develop the people, the continuity already on your roster, right? And not just like your better players and your core players, but like shit, like your women.
Yeah.
Like it really start there. Like, so how do we get our women better, right? How do we get our core better? And then how do we just continuously build on that? Whether that's like you said, I think how you build, I think that's a good way, because it's like, okay, like most teams in this league, especially the winning teams, right? They have a core.
For sure.
It doesn't change. You know what I mean? Like it doesn't change.
Or even just the contenders in general, most of their core is they stay with their core.
Yeah. So now at that point, it's like, okay, how do we get what we have already? How do we get it better? And again, the part that a lot of teams lack is just developing. I think, and this could be a whole other episode in itself, but they don't know how to develop for the most part. And that's a whole nother.
I'm gonna say this
bag.
too. I'm gonna say this too, and it's gonna sound a little messy, but fucking winning. Like, nobody want to be a loser. Like, you know what I mean? You go so long to losing, it's like, shit, I got to find something different. Yeah. Which is just life in general shit, you know what I mean?
Something got to change.
Something got to change. Yeah. Like, and that's why a lot of people leave these bad teams, is because a
lot of that shit, though, is like, I was talking to somebody this weekend, and they was like, on one of the teams that's in this tier 5, and they like, man, the ego of some of the guys on these tier 5 teams is insane.
Yeah.
They got people that's better than them, but they want to protect me showing up and me putting whatever numbers I'm putting up on whatever over winning.
Because this really these niggas college.
It is.
You know what I mean?
It is.
This the NFL.
And for me, I feel it because I'm like, I played college football, right?
Yeah.
But this my NFL. I tell my coworkers like, someday I'm a professional flag football player. You feel me? So it's like, I get it, it's serious.
I ain't against it.
But it's like,
because we all do.
Are you gonna put winning ahead of your personal shit? You know what I'm saying? And I don't know if everybody got the ability to do that. Before we get to tier 4, out of these teams, standouts, thoughts.
Well, you name two. You didn't get a chance.
No, I'm gonna go through them. So
you didn't get a chance. Name yours though. Tier 5.
So Mambas, High Speed, Terror Squad, Demon Time, Pressure, Re-Up, Playmakers, Southside Assassins, Sweeney Todd, New Jack City, All Money In. I feel like teams that
we damn near can rank them. They ass.
You know, it's like,
I'm saying like as the worst. We can rank the worst. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So thoughts on them last couple teams? Good stuff you see, bad stuff you see, stuff they can do for the next 6 weeks to improve their teams. We're just gonna go quick take.
Yeah.
Just pick a random team.
Southside Assassins. Get Buddy the ball.
He on Mambas now.
Oh, well, I'm sorry, Mambas. Get Buddy the ball.
Buddy nice.
I don't know his name.
Mama's
nice though.
Mama's like,
get Buddy the ball,
not to change
man.
shit. I know it's supposed to be quick, but like Mama's damn they got them a win the other day.
FS1.
FS1 almost
Yeah,
got the
yeah,
ball.
yeah.
FS1 back 22-21.
Yeah.
FS1 almost.
Was it overtime?
I don't
Yes,
know.
it was
I don't know,
overtime.
but I
It was
just know-
overtime.
It was
Yeah, like
It
that's
was
what I'm saying.
overtime.
That shit
It
crazy.
was overtime.
Get that man the ball.
Get him the ball.
Goddamn, we gonna like.
It's like, because I feel like it didn't have to go to overtime.
Nah.
Malik ass caught the pick.
Yeah.
Thought he got his flag pulled.
And
Threw that
stopped.
bitch out of bounds. Oh, threw it out of bounds.
He threw the ball out of bounds.
He caught a pick
Get the fuck out.
in
of here.
regulation. Caught the pick on the extra point. Thought he got caught. Throw that motherfucker out of bounds.
Threw it out of bounds.
Threw it out of bounds. Crazy.
Bro,
Never
that's
seen
different.
that
That's
like-
what I said. That's different. I ain't
Never
never seen no
seen
shit like
that
that.
like-
Lost that game, they would have been sick.
Never seen
That's
that
tough.
like